The two Pharmagen security operatives were moving toward the vault, their faces tight and focused. She knew they wouldn't stop at retrieval, they would ensure she disappeared. Instead of running, Lena made her last calculated choice: public exposure. She slipped out the back entrance of the bank and sprinted toward the nearest major public transit hub, the city's massive, glass-domed central train station. She knew it would be crawling with commuters and, critically, cameras. She contacted Marcus Cole using a disposable message app. Central Station, Track 4. "No. I have the proof. Come alone." Marcus Cole arrived looking frantic, clutching a worn leather satchel. He spotted Lena, ragged and pale, leaning against a pillar while watching the security feeds on her phone for signs of her pursuers. "Lena, what the hell is going on? Your article is blowing up." Cole started, but Lena cut him off, thrusting the small flash drive into his hand. "This is everything," she gasped, her eyes darting across the crowd. "The original data, the simulations, and the signed report. My signature on the lie. You have to get this to the FDA, to the regulators. You have to recall Aethel today." "The signature means jail time for you," Cole warned, looking from the drive to the worried expression of a commuter beside them. "I know. It's the price of the mistake." Before Cole could process the gravity of the admission, the two dark-suited operatives burst onto the platform. They moved with frightening speed, pushing past passengers. "Dr. Hanson, cease your illegal activity," one operative commanded. "You are coming with us for a legal review." The attack. Lena shoved Cole backward into the surge of departing passengers. "Go. Run." The confrontation was chaotic. Lena, driven by desperation, fought with a ferocity she hadn't known she possessed, fueled by 2 years of guilt. She bit, she kicked, she threw herself into the path of the security men, buying Cole precious seconds to vanish into the stream of commuters descending into the subway. Pinned against a ticket kiosk, her strength failing, Lena knew the data was safe. But she was cornered. The confession, as one operative wrestled the physical drive from her grasp, only to discover Cole already had the crucial copy. Lena saw a news crew reporting live from a nearby terminal, covering the Aethel story. This was her final chance to control the narrative. With her last ounce of strength, she broke free and lunged toward the nearest camera, ignoring the shouts of the security guards. She grabbed the microphone from the stunned reporter. "My name is Dr. Lena Hanson," she cried, her voice cracking but amplified across the bustling terminal. "I am vice president at Pharmagen Global. Aethel is poison. 2 years ago, I signed a report concealing the hepatic risk. It was my mistake, my avoidable mistake. The CEO pressured me, but I signed it. Find Marcus Cole. He has the evidence. You have to recall the drug now before more children die." The security team tackled her, pulling her away violently, but it was too late. Her confession, raw and damning, had gone live, played out against the backdrop of the terrified station. Lena was subdued and dragged away, but the truth, finally, had been unleashed. The impact of Lena's live confession was immediate and deafening. Her raw admission, broadcast across every major network, blew open the Aethel scandal. The FDA, spurred by public outrage and the undeniable evidence Marcus Cole immediately delivered, issued a massive, unprecedented recall of the drug. Mr. Thorne and several top Pharmagen executives were arrested within days for conspiracy and fraud. The company's stock became worthless almost overnight. But justice was a messy, painful equation. Lena was arrested moments after her confession, charged as a co-conspirator in the original falsification of the drug data. She was stripped of her VP title, her fortune was frozen to cover anticipated legal costs, and her celebrity status instantly flipped from celebrated scientist to corporate villain. The weeks leading up to her grand jury hearing were spent in a blur of meetings with weary public defenders and hostile prosecutors. She had saved lives, but she had still committed a serious crime. The final scene took place months later, in the cold, unfeeling atmosphere of a federal courtroom during the preliminary hearings. Lena sat at the defense table, no longer the high-powered executive, but a humbled, somber witness. She took the stand not to defend her ambition, but to detail the terrible moment of her weakness. She described the exhaustion, the pressure, and the pride that convinced her to choose the easy path. She held up the report, the evidence of her avoidable mistake, and pointed to her own signature. "I signed it," Lena said, her voice clear and steady for the first time since the crisis began. "I was told it was a small lie that could be fixed later. But there is no such thing as a small lie when the commodity is human health. The mistake wasn't the lie itself. The mistake was believing that my career ambition was worth more than my integrity." Her testimony was devastating, providing the moral anchor the prosecution needed to dismantle Pharmagen's legal defense. Thorne and the other executives eventually faced the full weight of justice. Lena did not walk away unscathed. She faced a difficult legal judgment, accepting a shorter prison sentence in exchange for her full cooperation. She sacrificed her freedom, her wealth, and her professional reputation. Years later, emerging from her confinement, Lena had nothing left but her scientific mind and the quiet knowledge that the catastrophe had been averted. She found a strange peace, a stability that her high-pressure career never allowed. She took a quiet, low-profile job in a community science lab, analyzing local water quality, work that was meticulous, tedious, and crucial. She had lost everything she had worked for, but in doing so, she had corrected the disaster she had set in motion. She looked at her reflection, no longer seeing the ambitious executive, but a woman who, through immense cost, had finally chosen truth over comfort. The mistake was made, but the consequences were faced.